The night I married Daniel, I thought I had won the family lottery. His parents smiled like they adored me. His sister hugged me tight, as if we'd always been sisters, and I felt like I had finally found a place where I belonged. My own parents lived out of state, and I believed that being close to Daniel's family would fill the gap. For a while, it did, but masks only stay on for so long. The first cracks showed after our honeymoon. I noticed how my mother-in-law, Evelyn, always found subtle ways to make me feel less than enough. Daniel used to like his shirts pressed a certain way, she'd say as she refolded my laundry. Or, "Are you sure you know how to cook that? I can show you how Daniel likes it." It was always wrapped in sweetness, but the sting was sharp. I brushed it off. Newlyweds have to prove themselves, right? Then Daniel began staying late at work. I trusted him, but whispers reached me. Evelyn's whispers. She'd sit beside me on the couch, sip her tea, and say things like, "You know, men get bored easily if their wives aren't attentive. Don't let yourself go." Her words gnawed at me until I found myself staring in the mirror, wondering what she saw that I didn't. The truth shattered me when I discovered Daniel wasn't just late at work. He was late because of Claire, his co-worker, who quickly became his lover. I found the texts, the late-night calls, pictures hidden in a private folder on his phone. My hands shook as I scrolled, realizing the man I had trusted had been unfaithful while I clung to hope. But the deepest cut came when I confronted him. Evelyn and his sister Megan were already waiting in the living room like a jury. Instead of shock or outrage, they defended him. "Marriage isn't easy," Evelyn said coolly, as if his betrayal was a small misstep. "All men make mistakes," Megan added, her eyes avoiding mine. Daniel just sat there, silent, letting them defend the affair that destroyed me. That's when I knew this wasn't just about a cheating husband. This was betrayal by the entire family I thought I had gained. I left that night. I stayed with a friend, collected my thoughts, and gathered evidence. While they whispered and plotted, I prepared. I filed for divorce quietly, but I didn't stop there. I uncovered Daniel's financial secrets. The company car he had been using for private trips, the work expenses he claimed but never used for work, the side business registered under his name but funded with his employer's money. One by one, I placed the documents where they would do the most damage. In his boss's inbox, in the bank's fraud department, and in the lawyer's hands. Evelyn and Megan didn't see it coming. They thought I'd crawl back, beg for scraps of affection, or accept humiliation. Instead, they watched as Daniel lost his job, his reputation, and the financial stability they had always bragged about. The house they all cherished slipped into foreclosure. The perfect family facade crumbled. On the day the divorce finalized, I walked out of the courthouse with my head held high. Daniel stood outside, pale and hollow, his mother clinging to his arm like she could still shield him. She glared at me, her eyes sharp with blame, but I only smiled. "You betrayed me when you could have stood beside me. Now, you can stand beside him as he falls." My revenge wasn't loud or violent. It was silent, calculated, and devastating. I didn't just leave, I took back my power. And for the first time, I felt free. Evelyn had always been the queen of appearances. Her house was polished to perfection, her smile rehearsed like a performance, and her words sharpened just enough to wound without leaving obvious scars. When I left Daniel, she didn't just see me walking away. She saw her carefully constructed world cracking, and she hated me for it. Weeks after the divorce was filed, I got a call from her. "You're making a mistake," she said, her voice smooth but dripping with condescension. "Divorce isn't the answer. A real wife knows how to forgive." I laughed bitterly. Forgive him for destroying our marriage? For humiliating me? For cheating while you all covered for him? Her tone hardened. "Do you think you'll come out of this looking like the victim? People will believe Daniel. They'll believe us. Families stick together." That was the moment I realized Evelyn thought she was untouchable. She believed her influence could bury me in shame. But I wasn't that naive girl who had entered her family anymore. I was sharpening into someone who understood the power of truth. I didn't respond. Instead, I let silence hang between us until she hung up. The next battle came from Megan, Daniel's sister. She cornered me in the grocery store one afternoon, her cart blocking mine in the aisle. You're ruining him, she hissed, her voice low but venomous. Do you even care that he's losing everything? You used to say you loved him. I met her glare. I did love him, and he chose to throw that away. Don't come to me crying when your brother's lies catch up to him. Megan scoffed, trying to act superior, but I caught the flicker of fear in her eyes. She knew the storm was coming. When Daniel's employer discovered the evidence I'd handed over, the fraudulent expenses, the misuse of company property, it didn't just end with him losing his job. They pressed charges. Suddenly, the golden boy Evelyn bragged about at every family dinner was standing in a courtroom, facing consequences he couldn't charm his way out of. I sat in the back row, hidden among the strangers. He saw me once, our eyes meeting across the room. For the first time, I didn't see the confident man I married. I saw a desperate, broken liar. Evelyn was beside him, whispering frantically to the lawyer, her face pale but stubbornly proud. Megan sat with her arms crossed, glaring at me like I had committed the crime. When the verdict came, guilty on several counts of fraud, I felt something in me heal. Not joy, not gloating, just closure. Months later, I ran into Evelyn at the bank. Her once flawless appearance was cracking. Her hair wasn't perfectly styled, her clothes no longer expensive. She looked tired, worn down, but her tongue was still sharp. "You think you've won," she sneered, stepping close enough that I could smell the bitterness on her breath. "But karma always finds its way back. You destroyed your own marriage." I didn't flinch. "No, Evelyn. Daniel destroyed it. You just helped him bury the pieces. And now you're standing in the ruins with him." For once, she had no reply. Her mouth opened, but no words came. She turned away, clutching her purse like it was the last piece of control she had. I rebuilt my life slowly. New apartment, new job, new friends who didn't measure my worth against someone else's approval. The scars remained, but they became a reminder of my strength. And every time I passed by that old neighborhood where Evelyn's mansion once stood, now foreclosed and abandoned, I reminded myself, revenge isn't always fire and fury. Sometimes it's watching those who betrayed you sink into the consequences they try to throw on you. And I had front row seats.